left. You can stretch those tissues. Now forward flexion should be fully complete.
Woo.
Forward extension all the way back. Forward extension. That's it. That's all they need. But how many of you would have spent just a half hour rubbing muscles? If you don't know how to mobilize the facet joints, if you don't know how to mobilize C1, C2, there's one thing I missed. Scoot back just a little bit. Which arm has the numbness, tingling, paresthesia left? Is in the shoulder, arm, wrist, hand, and or fingers. Where is it? Usually the fingers, the digits. He's got a fixated first and second rib. That's a second rib. That should not be a second rib. That should be a first rib. So what I'm going to do to get to his second rib is I'm going to elevate his shoulder. I'm on his first rib now. But it's stuck. It's called a fixated rib. When he takes a deep breath, the rib comes up. When he exhales, I distract him, and the rib is now moving down off the clavicle. What's compressed in there is the subclavius artery and the brachial plexus nerves. Coolness to the arm, numbness, tingling sensations. One more deep breath, the rib comes up. When he exhales, I stretch the middle scalene by pulling the rib down, and then he brings his head to the opposite shoulder. That stretches the middle scalene. Then he takes another deep breath, and I stretch the anterior scalene by pulling the first and second ribs down. There we go. Then turn your head towards me as you can, and then come across, and that stretches the anterior scalene from both ends. Let's do that on both sides to reduce some of the nerve pain that goes into the arm. I already know from my intuitive brain that it's going to be in his pronator teres too, so I'm going to go down and follow the circuit. So I go under the clavicle, and then you feel that rib right there? That's not supposed to be there. So what happens is that the scalenes elevate the ribs. So if I lift the clavicle up and get on that first rib, take a deep breath, you'll feel the rib come up. That's what causes thoracic outlet. When he exhales, I distract him, and I pull the rib down. It's still not moving, so another deep breath. Rib comes up. I am not doing chiropractic. I'm using the ribs to stretch the scalenes, and only in an insecure world will I be accused of scope of practice techniques. When he brings his arm across, that's a middle scalene stretch, another deep breath, exhale, and I bring the arm down, rotate towards me. That's an anterior scalene stretch. If you would just stretch the scalenes like in your neck, your condition would get worse. Just like the swimmer that we had this morning, her condition would get worse. Now, the culprit in the shoulder is pec minor. We can stretch that now. Not unnatural. When I come back over here and come to this shoulder, we're just about done, but this shoulder is going to have a capsular pattern. You see how it hangs right there? How many of you would stretch anyway? I would have used to 15 or 20 years ago. But what he needs is some counter strain techniques and some capsular work. If you're going to a therapist that's causing pain, leave that therapist. There's no reason to cause pain. The body wants to be facilitated into the corrections. The body has an amazing ability to heal itself if it's not forced to do things. Now, I just want to give me a little bit of that cryoderm again. That's right. Can you sit up for me and put your feet on the center of the table? Sit in the seated position. One of the things that I do, since fascia has nociceptors, which is what tells the brain to cause pain and tighten muscles and spasm, I always finish my treatments with the cryoderm spray. I'm going to give you some of this to take home. Because what that does is it blocks the gatekeeper, which is the brain that registers pain from the nociceptors within the fascia. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring those discs back. Put your head in neutral and tuck your chin. I'm just going to bring these discs back. There we go. Now bring your head in neutral. There you go. And I'm going to rub that cryoderm in to block the nociceptors. Brain, so there's no soreness or discomfort a day or 3 days.